What's going on, guys? Average Player here, another deck profile. And this time I'm going to say Dino is the best deck. I finally finished getting my cards in. Yes, I finally spent money on cards again. You guys will just see what it is so far. And I didn't play this deck at my locals, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. I played one of my buddy's decks. He's playing Sprites, Life Twin Sprites. Because he wasn't playing, he runs the thing, so... Shout out to him for letting me play his Sprite deck. I'm going to try to get used to the combos a little bit. So, my deck profile for the Sprites will be out whenever I get the deck done. I still have a lot of cards left to get. And a lot of money still has yet to be spent. So yeah, besides the top 3 decks in the game, tier still being tier 0, Flu being right there at tier 1, and Sprite being tier 1. This I would probably say is right there among the top tier decks. Dinos is super good, especially with Mystic Mind just now getting banned fucking finally. This deck has the potential to explode and do what it wants. You don't have to worry about Mystic Mind, even though you do have your negations on board that you can do for Mystic Mind in this deck. Mystic Mind is not going to be a worry anymore after December 1st. So, there's that. And then the ultimate, me and Karma will later be going over the ban list, and we will be discussing it. So, the only thing I'm going to give away now is that Mystic Mind was banned, but most of you have seen your other, favorite creators, like Ruxin or Simo and the Cali Effect already have their reactions to the ban list. So, since I wasn't able to catch it on the reaction, because I was actually about ready to go to work to do the reaction, and I didn't think you guys wanted the video this late as a reaction, we're going to do a discussion, so stay tuned for that. We're going to get into this deck profile. We're going to obviously do the Dino stuff first, and then our engines, and then our hand traps. And then all the spell cards. So, in Dino deck, if you're not playing triple copies of Ovi, that's all I'm going to say, it's Ovi. Ovi is the best card in this deck because it does everything for you. Actually, I lied. Ovi isn't the best card in the deck. Best card in the deck is Misk. It needs to come back to 3. There we go. My bold take for the video. Next, we're playing double copies of Animadorn Darkosaur, 3 copies of the Baby Ceresaurus, and 1 copy of Petite Pteranodon. Now, for this build and the way it's done, I see people running 2 copies of Petite Pteranodon, and I'm not a fan of that, actually. The babies themselves, if you open multiple, are a brick, and Petite Pteranodon can count itself as a baby dino. So, if you open all 4 of these, you only have 1 card left for extension, or to start your plays, that would have to require you to blow up one of these. So, the less of them that you play, the better it is. Especially since you already have Animadorn Darkosaur. If you open both of them, that's a brick. Or it can be a brick. So you lessen this as much as you can. But playing the Petite Pteranodon at 1 is, in my opinion, the best way to play this. But the baby has to be at 3. That's what I have to say. Baby has to be at 3. Petite Pteranodon can be at 1. You can play it at 2 if you want to, but I think it's better at 1. That's my take. That's how I've had it built for the last little bit. Now we're going on to our power dinos, like our big boys. 2 copies of UCT, 1 copy of Quatlus, 1 copy Pink, 1 copy Dogoran, and 1 copy of Giant Rex. I think this is the best way to play it. UCT, you can summon more than 1 a turn, especially if you double evolution pill for 1, there's 1 dino, 2 dino, 3 dino, and this would be 4th dino. You just gotta find a way to banish another dino, or whatever, to get out your Overtext Quatlus, because he can be summoned for free. If not, you can still have a UCT, which is a monster flip, spell and trap negation, plus whatever other negations or interruptions that you can put on your board with dinos, and you have a very, very, very big list of things that you can do. And then we're on to the scrap engine here. Obviously, it's the same way as it has been for a few videos now. 2 Raptor, 1 Chimera. Golem is not coming back in this list. In my opinion, it's not good in my build. Every time I play test with it, I noticed the Golem is a little bit of something that I don't want to see. Because if I see Golem, I'm thinking the combo line with Hulk, and I can't think that because Hulk's banned. So that's basically it. And then the Spice cards, the ones I recently just got. 1 copy of Dragonic Diagram, and 1 copy of True King, Lithogasm, the Destroyer, or Disaster, whatever the hell its name is. You see any one of these two, you're solid. Diagram is really good, and so is Disaster. Disaster blows up 1 monster in your hand or field, or 2 monsters in your hand and field. It has to include an Earth monster. That's where baby dinos come into play and allow you to basically extend without a normal summon. So if you really need to, that extra normal summon later on, with the way the deck's built, you're able to combo off, maybe get an extra additional XC on the field, which is good. So that's the line I decided to go with. Somebody asked me about it a long time ago. I said that I didn't think it was good, and then I ended up reading up on it and watching a couple videos on it, and I was like, damn, this is actually pretty insane. But it's not the only thing this thing does. It rips a card, or rips 3 cards out of your opponent's extra deck. And against tier, if you rip the right cards out of your opponent's extra deck, what are they going to do? They can't have their summon negations. They can't have, one of the other cards that's a big interruption. I forgot what it's called. And then you can get 1 other random card. Especially with Curious getting banned, that stops their Griffin line. They have to rebuild their extra deck now, but this will hurt them really badly if they let it resolve. If this resolves, it's GG's for most decks. And if you're going to ask, what am I going to do with this on my board? It's a level 9. It's going to be held up. So I have multiple options of things I can go. In my combo with Scrap Raptor, I can use Raptor and him. Go ahead and make my Wyvern. Or I can use it to go climb into a Star Usually make sure my guys have a little bit extra attack if I'm worried about stuff getting beaten over. Whatever it may be. So that's the spicy tech that I played. That I'm playing. And it's about time I listened to you guys. So now for hand traps, we're going to do this one set at a time. Triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. I'm just going to make the hand traps go by fast. Triple copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. I think Ghost Ogre is still really good. Especially with Tier Elements being a really good deck. Their field spell, you destroy it. It really does help a lot because they won't get the additional effects of the field spell, nor will they get that attack boost that actually really helps their monsters out a lot. Because their monsters, strongest I think they can get is 3k, and then that 35 really makes it that much of a difference, because most boss monsters in the main deck are 3k, and boss monsters in the extra deck are generally like, I think they go up pretty high. They can go up to 4,000, 6,000, depending on what they are, but that 500 boost really does help. But next, last little bit of hand traps, 2 Imperm, 1 Called By. I was lying about the hot take. Called By should still be at 3. Card is amazing. It should have came back to 3 on this emergency ban list, but it's whatever. It's useful. It's the most useful hand trap in this deck, and I call it a hand trap because you activate it from your hand, especially if your opponent's going to interact with you. That's why I call it Called By a hand trap. Imperm is just Imperm. It's probably one of the best cards in the game in my book. Now, for the spell cards, triple copies of Lost World, make that 4 and 5, and this can also be your second and third copy of your Dragonic Diagram. So set rotation comes in handy here for Dragonic Diagram specifically, because you can toss your opponent a Lost World, set your Dragonic Diagram, activate it. Even beforehand, you can just toss your opponent a field spell after you've already activated your own, right? And then they can't activate Mystic Mine as long as you keep your set. It was great. Or Necro Valley, or whatever they're going to do against you. But set rotation, you give your opponent the Lost World, you activate you set the Dragonic Diagram to your field, activate it, start comboing. Terraforming it's terraforming, everybody knows what terraforming does. So it just gives you more of a chance to see any of your field spells that you want to see, which is amazing, because the deck really does need its field spell to be able to accomplish what it wants to accomplish. And the same Ogre against this deck too. If they Ogre the field spell, it hurts, because you can't protect it with a baby or the OV pop. And you can't do it. It can't get your targeting protection as well. So your field spell getting blown up kind of sucks. But that's why I like Ogre, because it stops those pesky continuous traps on the field. The Bestial Trap, gone. Bestial Spell card, gone. The Bestial monsters, when they summon themselves, get an effect, blow them up, they're gone. So, it's what it is. But, continue with this. Spell cards, 3 copies of Fossil Dig. Rhoda, love Rhoda, you gotta have 3 copies of Fossil Dig. And next, if you haven't figured it out, double copies of Double Evolution Pill. Because if you see one, you're generally not going to see the other. The deck, that's the main deck. The main deck is 40 cards right on the nose. I don't like to make it anything different than 40 cards. It always irritates me if I have over 40 cards. It's like an OCD thing. It's weird. But now on to the extra deck. We got to include that Joey token. Extra deck really hasn't changed. For the links, 1 copy of Link Kribo, 1 copy of Scrap Wyvern, 1 copy of IP Masquerena, 1 copy Unicorn, 1 copy Appaloosa, and 1 copy Saryuja. For Saryuja, I put that in here because I didn't know what else to play. That's me being completely honest. The Griffin I didn't think would have been a good play. I could play some of the Sprite extra deck cards because of Baby, but that's not really useful. I mean, I could summon the Baby whenever I want, use for an activation of Quatless, but still, I didn't think that would have been too useful, so I'm playing this. Saryuja is just good for the attack boost and to fix my hand. Like, oh, I got multiple copies of Ash. Let me just put one of them on the bottom of my deck, or whatever. So I guess Saryuja is probably the better path for me to take here. If anything, I'd probably take Saryuja out for another Nightmare card, like Nightmare Cerberus or Nightmare Phoenix, whatever it might be. But this is my lineup. Saryuja is the one I would say that you can interchange the most. And if you don't want to play Saryuja, I would recommend, instead of playing the Nightmare cards, taking it out for a Secure Gardna, so you have access to a Double Evolution play, if you're able to get that far. Next, the Xyz monsters. 1 Logia, 1 Dolka, 1 Tornado Dragon, 1 Gooska, and 1 Dweller. So, obviously, these are the gimmies. You don't want to play more than one, though, because they only... they're not a hard one to return. That's not what I was trying to say. I don't know where I was going with that, but... these aren't as generic as these. That's why you play one of each of these, and these are a little bit better. The Dweller is the one card that I would say you must need for this deck, especially in this format, because of the mirror match. It completely destroys the mirror match. It destroys Phantom Knights. Sprite actually is fine against the card. This doesn't do anything with Sprite. But Tears destroys Tears. If they don't have the interruption to stop you, if they don't have the Imperm or Veiler or whatever they want to use for the Dweller, Tear can't play. Gooska completely destroys Sprites. It also hurts the mirror. Bagooska hurts a lot of decks. Tornado Dragon is just a bunch of back row hate. You don't have to play Tornado Dragon if you don't want to. So, the one card I'd say you could take out if you want to out of this is Tornado Dragon. You could play another Evilsaur card. You could play Tolmaya since it's off the ban list. So, one of these cards, it will be changed out. So, I'm not going to show it. It was F.A. Don Dragster, but we're going to stay with our Synchro monsters. Here, we only have 3 of them. Scarlet Dragon Archfiend, Psyflame Lord Omega, and Borreload Savage Dragon. Even though I want to keep the F.A. Don Dragster in my side deck, my extra deck, the Gillosauruses have been removed from the deck if you can't tell. That was one of the major points of me taking cards out. So the Gillosauruses, the Judgments have all been removed. The deck has been completely revamped. And when Karma gets home tonight, before we do the discussion about the ban list, we are going to play with each other. I want to test out this Dino deck. But I'm going to explain at least the Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. It's good for time, that's why I put it in here. Most decks like to put in stuff for time. Sprites being, the Red Resonator. This deck can be the Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. Archfiend, blow up special summon monsters. Burn your opponent for 500 each. Which, as you can tell, that's really good for time. I know Dragon Link does play Agave Dragon to make them gain 300 for time. So it's sad when you got to play cards because of time rules being terrible, this being the card I'm playing for time rules. But everybody knows what Savage does in Omega. If you don't know what it does, it banishes a card out of your opponent's hand in itself. And then during the standby phase, this card comes back. So Or I can target one banished card, return it to the graveyard. Or no, they both return during my standby phase, and it's field on effect on the field. Let's target one banished card, return it to the graveyard, so I can target like my Misk, return it to my graveyard or whatever. So if I need to have a little extra gas, if I'm trying to go, if I'm in the grind game, then I can do that. But he doesn't really show up like that. I never really use him, so he could be interchangeable. But if I'm playing against tier, I can just rip a card out of their hand. It's banishing, and it won't come back until the next standby phase. At least my next standby phase. And Borderlord Savage is just a really good card. It's an Omni Negate for a Destroy. But if you guys want to see a side deck, unfortunately, it's not done yet. But I will give you a little taste about what is in there, so you guys know what is at least coming the way. So I need to pull this other card out, but I don't have it. It would be 2 copies in the Nibiru, triple copies of Crossout Designator, and triple copies of the Cosmic Cyclone. This is basically what I build my side deck around. Any card that the Nibiru I want to have back at 3, because not many people are expecting it nowadays. But the Crossout Designators are good because I do play quite a few hand traps in my deck. I play Ash, Ogre, Imperm. And it can even stop the Called by the Grave. So I play a whole bunch of cards that everybody else plays, so the Crossout can stop them. Cosmic Cyclone, again, is for those cards that are reliant on, or those decks that are reliant on spell trap cards. Like, this can get rid of the tier spell and trap it, banishes it, so they're not really going to see it again. The Cosmic Cyclone might be removed, though, because it was meant for Mystic Mine. But now, Necro Valley is going to be a big thing in playing against Necro Valley. So Cosmic Cyclone is going to be meant to get rid of the Necro Valley. But that's about it, guys. So if you guys think I should change anything, let me know down in the comment section below. If you guys are curious about the Sprite build, I will tell you that it does require me to take cards out of this deck, and which is basically all the hand traps, and put it in there and get the extra deck done. Fortunately, the extra deck, it requires me to still get 3 Elf, and I don't have money for Elf. So, because I don't want to spend $20 a card on a Yu-Gi-Oh card. I'd rather see if I can, trade for it like I normally do, all that other stuff. But just a quick thing: 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's at 27 cards right now in the main deck. But just a quick hint: I do play Gamma and Shifter in the deck. I feel like Gamma is the best hand trap for this deck besides Shifter, because your cards are getting banished anyway with Gamma, but Gamma's level 2 with a normal monster. You're going to allow you to make your Sprite Elf. So, anyway, if you guys want to see the Sprite deck profile, please let me know. I'm going to try to get the cards as much as I can, because I'll probably end up getting some money for Christmas. So, probably be a little bit after Christmas time, because I will try to finish buying whatever I need for the deck after Christmas, or if I'm done Christmas shopping. And you guys will be notified probably with a previous video before I make the Sprite video, because that's going to be the big, I want to make that a big video on my channel, is the Sprite deck profile. So anyway, if you guys liked the video, please drop a like. Let me know what you guys would change. Here's the like button. It's my hand, the thumb. Let me know what you guys want to change. If you guys want something to change in the deck, or you guys think I should change something, let me know. As I noticed a couple people have replied that I shouldn't be playing Judgment. Judgment isn't that good. I shouldn't be playing Ogre. I'm still playing Ogre because I like the card. I can do that. I don't have Valor. If I want to get Valor, I can probably just trade for it. It's not that expensive, or I can just buy it. But I do listen to you guys. So again, comment, and I look, I respond, all this other stuff. And as you can tell, I do change. Somebody said I need to change my lighting, so here's that. I am looking at buying a ring light, so that's going to be changing the lighting a lot. The ring light is going to especially be helpful, especially if I get 2 from when Karma and I do our head-to-head battles. So, again, thank you for watching. Drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe if you want to see more. I am a big guy, an avid deck builder. At least every month I will have a deck profile on Dinos or Phantom Knights. If I don't have Phantom Knights, I probably won't have Phantom Knights going on anymore. I don't think the deck is as good as it used to be. Even though you can splash whatever you want with it, but that's different video. So, again, thank you. Have a good day. Bye.